For the people out there that believe that the stock market isn't manipulated, we all got to witness mass manipulation take place today. We got to witness the power of the Federal Reserve when it pumped in nearly $100 billion into these markets this morning. Yet, there are people out there that believe there is no manipulation. Wow, the Fed just pumped in almost another $100 billion into these markets this morning. This isn't helping the economy. This is helping Wall Street. This is helping the banks. This is helping the stock market while the real economy is failing, while the real economy is going down, while the real economy is in the beginning stages of a recession and heading into a depression. So they can pump in as much money as they want, but they're not going to stop what is happening in the real economy. A depression is coming to America. It has begun. Wall Street and the banks are benefiting with the propping up of this Federal Reserve. You are not. I am not. Main Street is not. Wall Street is. The real economy is failing, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look around, and I'm going to point out some more reasons and some more facts of why it is. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. So I woke up this morning, and lo and behold, I look on my phone. Dow Jones is around 500 points up. I couldn't believe it, but I could believe it. And I asked myself, was it because oil prices went up? No. Was it the buying of the dip? No. Was it factory orders? No. They're down year over year. Was it some manufacturing boom? No. Manufacturing in America is in a recession. Was it some kind of, was it retail sales? No. Retail continues to struggle. So what was the great news that was able to prop the markets up, 500 points this morning? It did close up 407, but it was breaking 500 points earlier in the day. But what got it up to 500? What got it to close at 407? It was the Federal Reserve injecting $95 billion into the banks, into these markets. That's why we got 407 points on the Dow Jones. People out there will say, well, oil's going up, so it's going to bring the markets up. Oil was down today. Oil, I don't know what it's at right now. Earlier, it was $49.80 for a barrel of crude. So apparently, oil prices had nothing to do with the stock market today. It had nothing to do with it. What had to do with everything was the Federal Reserve injecting another $95 billion. So ask yourself this: why are markets up if the banks don't have liquidity? What is going on? We're watching more quantitative easing take place. We're witnessing a liquidity crisis. We're witnessing a Fed coming in, creating massive amounts of debt, and being the buyer of last resort, buying into these markets when nobody else will. I mean, it's insane. I saw Tesla shares at $940 today. Are you kidding me? I mean, this stuff is out of a science fiction movie. And let me tell you, we are going to pay a huge price for the propping up of these markets, for all this debt creation that's taking place, for this magic trick that we're watching. Your kids, your grandkids, and you are all going to pay a huge price for what is taking place. So while the U.S. stock market is surviving off of magic tricks, we now have China doing the same thing. Sunday, China injected 1.2 trillion yuan into the markets. That's $173 billion. Last night, they injected 400 billion more yuan. That's around 60 billion US dollars to keep everything propped up. So the Chinese market's back up, the US market's back up, everything is doing wonderful. But we have oil back below $50 a barrel because China is not buying as much oil because they have a very serious situation taking place, as you all know. So if everything is okay, how come oil prices are collapsing? MarketWatch.com. The rent is too damn high even for middle class and middle income America. New report from the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University calculates that 10.9 billion renters spent more than 50% of their income on housing in 2018. That's 1 in 4 renters. And I can guarantee you now in 2020, the numbers are even worse. There were 6 million more cost-burdened renters in 2018 than in 2001. Just look at the direction of the average American's standard of living. Their dollar is buying less. Anybody telling you that there's no inflation is lying. There is massive inflation. Go to the grocery store, take a look at your rent, take a look at the cost of a house, the cost of a car, the cost of a pair of shoes, and tell me that there's no inflation. A renter is cost burdened when they must spend more than 30% of their income on housing costs, and they are severely burdened when they have to spend more than half of their income on rent. In 2018, 43% of renters earning $15,000 to $30,000 were severely burdened. That's almost half. Remember, half of the United States workers make less than $32,000 a year. People are struggling. Nearly 56% of renters earning between $30,000 and $45,000 a year were cost burdened as of 2018. That's up 5.4% since 2011. Among those who earned $45,000 to $75,000 annually, this share increased 4.3% to 27% being cost burdened. These are the good times. Why are we seeing these numbers heading in the wrong direction if we have a booming economy, the strongest stock market in history, and the lowest unemployment in 50 years? Why are we seeing people's standard of living heading in the wrong direction? We're now in 2020. And we are witnessing another ticking time bomb taking place right here where people just are barely surviving. And remember, 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. 25% of this country is living on credit cards. They are one paycheck away, maybe 2 paychecks away, a flat tire away from big trouble. And that's a fact. CNBC, this came out today, Macy's. And remember, I'm not making this up. And somebody said yesterday I should be reporting good news and mix it up a little bit. I'm not here to report good news or bad news. I'm just here to report real news, the real economic facts and the financial situation America has gotten itself into. I wish there was some real good news to report to you, but I'm just telling you the facts. Macy's to close 125 stores, cutting 2,000 corporate jobs in hunt for growth. That's not a strong economy. This is a failing economy, and I hate to say that because I do not want to see this country fail. Macau, China, the gambling capital of the entire world, they are being told to close down. So more problems. That's on Reuters today. What kind of economic ramifications are taking place in China? Things continue to be very uncertain over there, and it's going to cause real ripples in the world economy. Hyundai, Kia factories crippled in South Korea as parts suppliers in China remain closed. They cannot get parts from China. And as I said, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, China is not able to get food to livestock, to poultry. The animals are dying. And so there's going to be big problems with feeding 1.5 billion people. It's just absolutely incredible what's happening over there. U.S. factory orders continue year over year to decline. More bad news. But yet you can buy a share of Tesla today for $940. I believe it's about $887 as I make this video late this afternoon. A company that has continue to lose money year over year. Tesla total revenues inched up only 2.2% in 2019 compared to 2018. Its automotive revenue edged up only 0.7% in 2019. Tesla reported a net loss of $862 million for the year 2019, despite selling $594 million in regulation credits. These are the tax credits that Tesla obtains from the U.S. government and governments of other countries for building electric vehicles. Since they lose money every year, they sell the credits to automakers who make money. This is a company that continues to lose a lot of money, yet you can buy a share today for around $900. Does this make any sense to you? Also, I believe they were. I believe. Let's see. Their share spiked 20% this morning, up $160, reaching $940 at one point. And this is, to me, a giant illusion. So, you know, you can be looking at everything taking place today, going, everything's fine. You have faith in the economy, the banks, in the currency. And if you do, if you really believe in it, you can go buy a share of Tesla today for $900. If you don't believe in this illusion, if you don't believe in the Ponzi scheme, today it is so obvious what's going on. I had a friend of mine call me up and literally just laughing what was happening this morning. It is so blatant. In your face of what they're doing. They're not even hiding it now. It's a joke. It's becoming just a laughing stock with what they're doing. Anybody that can think for themselves and put a couple words together can see with their own two eyes exactly what is propping up this market. It's the Federal Reserve, and it's a joke. It is absolutely 100% fake. So you can buy a share of Tesla today if you believe in it, or if you don't believe in this Ponzi scheme, you can buy tangible hard assets like gold and silver, which they slammed today. Gold was down over $24 this afternoon when I checked. And it just makes you think, should I buy more? And the question is probably yes, it's on sale. $900 for a share of Tesla, that buys a lot of silver. That'll definitely buy you more than a half ounce of gold today. And is gold and silver going to be here longer than Tesla? Yeah, I have a feeling, no doubt it will be. Is it going to have more value? Yeah, because when this whole thing comes apart and blows up, and it will, Tesla will be a distant memory. Gold and silver is going to be your future. It's going to be your best friend in tough times. It's going to protect your wealth. But that's a choice that we all have to make. I don't give financial advice. I'm just thinking out loud, sharing with you my thoughts and what I'm doing. It certainly isn't buying shares of Tesla. It's buying ounces of gold and silver. And when you buy assets like gold and silver and they have a bad day like today, I don't even think about it. I just buy more. I take advantage of the sales. Don't buy it and worry about it every day. Buy it for insurance, because when the bad times come, and they are, you're going to need to protect yourself. And that means all preps, and that means gold and silver, because you need to protect yourself financially, just not physically. And you need to protect yourself spiritually, so walk close to God and say your prayers. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Maybe more of this nonsense, maybe not. But I'll tell you, it is creating the most dangerous economic collapse the world will ever see. It's funny when you look at it, but it's not funny, because when you really understand what's going on here, the amount of debt that they're creating, they are devaluing your currency and my currency. They're going to create massive hyperinflation in America from what they're doing with the printing of all this money, this quantitative easing, this helicopter money. None of this is flowing into the real economy. It's staying at the very top. And remember, the very top, that 1%, when this whole thing implodes, they're going to be long gone. They're going to own assets. They're going to be out of these markets. And it's going to be the 99% who are going to suffer the pain when this collapse hits America. Make sure You're not part of that 99%. Protect yourself. Say your prayers. Talk to you soon.